So to start this repair, you want to start by removing the door panel. And I like to first take off that little corner piece right there, which is really easy. You grab it in here and you pull. It just has 3 little locking tabs. For me, one of them is broken, but this is what they look like. And this is the broken one. The next thing I'd like to do is remove the anchor bolts for this door panel. There are 2 underneath this cover here. And if you take off this cover also, there's another bolt right there. And these are all 10mm bolts. Take those out. In order to remove this window crank handle, it's best to have a tool that looks like this. And what this does is it slides down underneath and unclips a little spring clip that's back there, which I'll show you. I can't show you right now because I can barely see it, but it goes down like this and it unclips the spring clip that holds this handle onto the rod. So you want to locate the clip. The C-clip is in the up position like this. As you can see, there's a very small washer here. There's a plastic washer. You want your tool to go in between the washer and the handle, not behind it, because it won't reach the clip. And then, assuming you do have this tool, you press down. Oh, there goes the clip. And then you pry a little bit and off comes your handle. Don't forget to take this washer out. So what the clip does is it goes right here on the handle and it locks it into this groove so that when you move your window up and down, this can't come pulling out. If you don't have this tool, you can just use 2 little screwdrivers or 2 small picks and pick at this clip until you get it off, but it's a lot more convenient to have the tool. Next, with the lock in the unlocked position, pull out on this tab, and that actually releases your little knob here. At this point, you can take your door panel, pry it away from the door. I'm going to start on this side because it's easier for me to grab it. Once it's off, there's a cable here that you want to remove, and I find that easiest to do with a pair of needle nose pliers. Once that's pressed in, this cable can slide out of its mounting point and through the hole and then unlatch it. Once that's all off, you'll find this padding here. You want to take that off. It's stuck on the back with some butyl tape. Just be very gentle with it. As long as you don't rip it, you should be able to stick it back on once you're done with your repair. So you don't have to take it completely off. I will, but you can just leave it hanging down here. In order for me to get better access to the inside of the door, I'm going to take this plate off right here, the reinforcement plate, and the only thing holding it on is this 10mm screw at the bottom. The next step is going to be putting the window back up, assuming yours was down. If it was already up, then you don't have to do anything, but you have to put the window almost all the way back up to the point where you can see 2 mounting bolts, one through this hole and one right here. I'll show you a close-up in a second, but what you want to do is line them up because that's how you remove the window from the regulator. So looking at the door panel, once the window is up, you can see 1 mounting bolt right there and another one right there. You don't have to take these bolts all the way out, you can just back them off a little bit. Keep in mind your window is still being held up, but there's nothing preventing it from being pulled out. So with the window still all the way up, it's best if you grab some tape. This one's on the narrower side, but typically you'd want something that's a little bit wider, has more grip. And tape the window so that the tape can hold the window in place while you work. I would say for a window this size, 3 to 4 strips should do it. I'm going to add another strip over here. The regulator appears to only have 5 bolts holding it in. One right here next to the handle. They're all 10mm, by the way. One up top, which you do not have to remove completely. Just loosen it up. It has this slot that it can get out of. Same for this one. Then it has these 2 10mm nuts on the bottom. With that done, you can lift up on this arm here. And on this side, push the stud through the hole on the bottom, lift up, and then fold your regulator into itself. And just remove one side first and the other side. And there's your old regulator. Once you're ready to install your new one, make sure you've transferred over your hardware that secures it up top. So put in the back side first, slide it up and over, and then put in the front side and slide that in. Okay, attach your first bolt, and before you attach this bottom stud here, attach your second bolt as well. There we go. Now you can reattach the rails on the bottom and do the same on the other side. Last but not least, reattach the handle area and then snug everything up. Next, you're going to put your handle back on temporarily and then raise the regulator. Make sure it goes onto the window. Sometimes you have to adjust it. And make sure the rubber is still on the regulator. You don't want to pinch the metal onto the window. I like to crank down a little bit on this handle, put pressure upwards so that it holds it tight, and then tighten up these bolts, make them snug. Don't tighten them too much because you can break the glass that way. And that's pretty tight. That's also tight. At this point you can remove the tape and test out the new window regulator. Next item on my list is going to be putting back this reinforcement plate here. Make sure it's hooked onto where it needs to hook onto. And then start the bottom bolt in. The top stays like this because that's where the other two bolts go once the panel is back on. Remove the window handle. Let's put this piece back. Get this cable attached. Line up the door panel. Tap it into place. Get this lock back on. Let's get these 3 screws put back. And of course the caps. To install this handle, make sure you have the clip inserted, put in your plastic washer, then simply take the handle and press it on. There you go. Last but not least, your plastic cover here.